Morning folks, the San Jacinto Trail Report from San Jacinto Peak, and as you can see, for once I'm actually able to do it right here on the summit rock because it is so warm and so calm. And anyway, today is Wednesday 13th of November 2019, probably just before 9 o'clock in the morning, and this is kind of symptomatic of how the first half of November has been. I haven't run the numbers yet, but I suspect it's going to be the warmest first half of November in Idlewild history. Most of November temperatures to this point have been more like September, frankly, and today's perfect example of that. It was well above 40 Fahrenheit when I left Idlewild, and it's currently 53 degrees here at 9 o'clock in the morning on mid-November at San Jacinto Peak, so that's kind of crazy. And the wind chill, well, was negligible. That said, up here at the peak I've had a fair number of days where the wind chill's been well below freezing. So I always still have that warning. You never quite know from one day to the next. If it's blowing, then it can be, I think last week I had a wind chill of 19 point something, and another day that was 20. So we're talking, minus 7, 8, 9 centigrade. So that's pretty chilly. In fact, we had, on average though, we had colder weather in September and October than we've had in November so far. But the main reason for doing this video is because hopefully that's all about to change. We've got hopefully the first cold front of the winter forecast for mid to late next week, probably around 19th, 20th of next week, maybe coming in Tuesday, mainly on Wednesday and Thursday next week. Forecasts so far have varied as to what that's going to involve. Initially it looked like there might actually be a halfway decent snow up here and reasonable amount of rain lower down. Now they're kind of backing off from that, but that could change. But fingers crossed, dusting of snow in the high country and some reasonable precipitation lower down. We need it because, as reasonable as last winter was, forest is starting to get really dry. We've had a lot of very low humidity days in September, October, November. Although the water sources are still holding up fairly well, some of them have dried up, starting to dry up pretty quickly. So we need some rain. And talking of water sources, I'm not going to update the water sources more thoroughly. Hopefully I won't have to do it again. Last week's report has really good detail on all the water sources. I've been really busy the last few weeks, covering a lot of ground, doing a lot of surveys for PCTA and so on. So the water situation's not really changed since then. And I've been updating the tree situation. We're I guess I was going to say hesitate to say, but we're pretty much back to quote unquote normal. The situation sort of before this past winter, in terms of PCTA crews, done a great job clearing on the Desert Divide. Still a few trees down around South Peak, a couple north and south of Phoebe Saddle, but most of the side trails, with one thing and another, have been cleared pretty thoroughly during the course of this season. So that's in good shape. And otherwise, obviously a beautiful day, albeit a rather almost summer-like day up here at San Jacinto Peak, and fingers crossed for some weather next week, and safe hiking everybody.